Alright, good deal, good deal. Hello, and welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream Update 27 Preview Edition. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you would like to be notified for when we're going live with shows just like this one. And you can find our complete schedule on twitch.tv/DDO stream. Today we are here to preview Update 27. This is on an internal development build, so you may see a few things that'll be a little bit different before we go live. If you run into any weirdness, I assure you that it's completely working as intended. And we're here to do some introductions. First up is Tolero. How you doing, Tolero?
Doing good. How's everybody today in the chat?
Also with us is Knockback, one of our content developers.
Hi, guys.
Also, with us is No Dice.
Right? No worries.
No worries. Why do I get
Every
that
time.
confused all the time? Every
You
time.
have to change your name now.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry.
Hello, everyone.
And you are the raid guy this time.
I do happen to be the raid guy.
Yeah. Also with us is the guy responsible for all the items, I think, basically, right? From
In this
day
pack?
27
In this pack.
here.
Not
and
the
that
entire
is
game.
Not every time,
Steelstar.
all the time, but in this pack, yeah.
In this pack, yes. So, hey, say hello, Steelstar.
Hey, everybody.
All right. We are here with Update 27. This is Trials of the Archons, and it is coming soon to a live server near you. I don't know if we're here ready to quite announce the release date yet, but it should be pretty darn soon. So, why don't we just start with a little bit of an overview. What is Trials of the Archon? Where is it going to take place, and what are we going to be doing?
So, Trials of the Archons takes place on Shavarath. You guys have been finding mysterious remnants for a while now, and in this update you're going to find out what they are, and that will lead you to Shavarath and lead you to the Archons. It turns out deviltry is afoot, or more accurately, the devils are up to something, and you're going to recruit the help of the Archons to oppose the devils. And without giving too much away, this is a theme that will be continued for a while in DDO.
All right, and for those who aren't familiar, what is Shavarath, and what is the devil battle? What's going on here? Why are the Archons fighting the devils?
Shavarath is the plane of battle, and pretty much since time began, there's been an endless war waged there between the devils, the demons, and the Archons. And actually, nobody really remembers why it is going on. It just is. And always will be.
Eternal war, as they say.
Yep.
Now, we have experienced some of this story before. Why don't we talk a little bit into the lead-up of where we're getting to this point lore-wise? It's a pretty long story, but we don't need to go into all the detail, but we should at least give people maybe a elevator pitch overview as to what's going on here.
So the elevator pitch overview for people who are not remembering their DDO lore is a while back the devils invaded the marketplace and destroyed it. To get back at the devils, you travel to Shavarath to fight the devils. And in doing so, you overthrew the current devil leader, the then current devil leadership, and at the same time, you have managed to make an old enemy, Eritrakos, a pit fiend, into the leader of the devil armies. So we're gonna get back to Eritrakos in this update and find out what he's doing now that he's in charge.
AKA Harry.
Yes, better known as Harry to one and all. And I see we have entered the first quest, which has you being tested by the Archons to make sure that you're up to their high standards. The Archons are, good, and they're also very militaristic, and they're not going to just team up with any slob who walks through the door. So in Trials of the Archons, you will be subjected to a series of trials, and we actually get to see a Archon fortress for the first time. There's still some demons to take care of because, of course, it's the plane of endless battle, so there's always going to be demons and devils giving grief to the Archons. Then,
Nice.
eventually, you'll make it into the Archon Fortress.
There we go.
Jump. Seriously,
So,
you guys are going to be
you know,
for this.
Yeah.
Actually,
You
you know
should
what? My
be
problem isn't that
grateful.
burdened. Yeah.
Yeah. You should be grateful because the Archons don't actually need platforms or stairs or anything. They all fly and also teleport.
They're like, here, have some stepping stones, peasants.
Right, exactly.
Probably just put them intentionally far apart so mortals, they can just watch mortals fall into the cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. I can do this. Come on. I can do this. Let's see if the community manager can jump, huh? All right. There we
I don't think that's the tough part of the dungeon.
go.
To play this quest, you must be able to do.
No,
this jump.
so here's the reason it's actually burdened because I seem to have pretty much every item from update 27. That's what's going on. But yeah. All right, so we're going through 3 quests and a new raid that's in
Yep.
Trials of the Archons.
Yep.
And this is, as usual, free to VIP. And is available for purchase in the DDO store when update 27 goes live. And what do you want to say about that, maybe Tolera?
So for this update, we have quests, we have raid. There's also going to be some a couple of items added to the DDO store. Some new fate tomes for people who've been looking for upgrades to fate points, which should be very fun. And as usual, the quests will be free to VIPs. So
And there's something else. A new volume of the Monster Manual.
yes, if you like Monster Manual, we have another edition of Monster Manual coming. This one's going to be giving Mysterious Remnants, and the Mysterious Remnant vendors are also getting some new exciting additions. So if you check out the Mysterious Remnant rewards, some of the new things that are going in there will be tomes that'll help out things like your MRR, your PRR, and a couple of other options. So should be very fun.
And the Monster Manual will also unlock a unique water elemental pet.
Okay, when I see Trial of Agility, I think the Crucible.
It's not
Crucible
nearly as
is-
bad
that
as
is
the
a-
Crucible.
Okay.
Archons aren't that mean.
Yeah, they're mean, but not that mean. Stern, I think, is the official word for the Archons. Stern.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting too that this monster manual should give you a pretty significant amount of mysterious remnants. So if you're someone who's going for some of those more expensive mysterious remnant prizes, the monster manual should help give you a good boost.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, there we go.
I see a question in chat about how many you're getting on the deed completions. Offhand, I can't remember the amounts, but I know that we did try to make it
Would
pretty
you like
significant.
the answer to the amount?
If you
No
know the
worries.
answer to the
That's the
amounts,
answer.
totally.
Each creature will give you a total of 1,000 remnants, so 10,000 remnants from the Monster Manual pack.
Plus the unique water elemental pet.
Yes.
Uh-oh. I know
Yeah,
that
Monster
fact.
Manual will be available the same day as the update. And once again, Monster Manual is also free to VIPs.
Very cool. So this is predominantly the main push for Update 27 is the Trials of the Archons Adventure Pack. We have, like I said, the new Monster Manual. We have a couple, some of the experience changes coming up, but not, there's more that's going to be happening, including something that was seen on Lawania called Reaper Mode. We'll have more to say about that, but that's not coming with Update 27. What is coming with Update 27 is, say, the change to the flawless victory bonus, so you no longer lose XP if someone else in the party dies, that kind of thing. So. And we have, let's see, some of the other main pushes. I'm trying to, actually, I should probably call up one of the release notes here.
Somebody's asking about, isn't Amrath the Yugoloths where the Archons coming from? The Archons actually have a giant floating city that you've always been able to see off in the distance from Amrath, but they've traveled over to Amrath to talk to you and the Gatekeepers, because the Gatekeepers are trying to make contact with the Archons. So they've taken their little flying skiffs and made a road trip to Amrath.
Cool, cool. All right. Well, I don't know how much of this I should really go through the trials here. I guess probably the first one here. So this one seems to be perhaps a little less combat heavy and a little more.
So in Trials of the Archons, they put you through various trials, some of which are combat heavy and some of which aren't, like the Trial of Agility. There's also a special path in there for rogues and artificers, if you're good at finding secret doors and traps and opening things. But yes, it's the less combat-y of the dungeons.
Alright, let me actually kill these things, head out into the next dungeon.
The gatekeeper's keeping all the gates.
Alright, so...
Yeah, the gatekeepers are the patron for the pack.
And these can be done in any order, which is pretty similar to what we've done for quite some time now. You do need to flag for the raid. Pretty basic stuff, I assume.
Yep, just have to do all 3 of the previous quests to get into the raid.
Yeah.
While you guys are skipping in, I see an item question. I'm going to jump in and answer. Are there going to be any new items specifically geared toward warlocks? There are some new items in this pack that warlocks should find fairly appealing. They're not necessarily warlock specific. There is a scepter that is very much force-based, so if you're using Eldritch Blast slot, it should be very useful, but if you were a force-based, say, wizard, it would probably be about as good. There's also some, in the raid, there are a pair of acid-based bracers and a light-based cloak that should help if you're a Great Old One Warlock or an Enlightened Spirit. So yes, there's some pretty decent Warlock item support in here, but there are also items that would be good for other casters.
Alright, let's see, what else do we have in chat here?
So summer sales, right off the top of my head, I can't recall the specific items, but because I tend to plan those out. But I do know that I tried to load the final week of summer sales with some really good offers. And whereas before you had, say, one item that was 50% off, one item that was 75%, you should have 2 50% off items, and 2 75% off items, and 2 35% off items. So we tried to pick some really exciting things for the final week.
Cool. Alright, this one is pretty straightforward. It's called a Demon Assault, and it may be similar to other assaults that you may have experienced in the game, except this time with demons. Right?
Yes, so I don't know how spoilery we want to get, but there is a thing that the Archons want you to get. Unfortunately, the thing is protected by demons. Many, many demons. So you'll have to fight waves of them. And this takes place right underneath Amrath.
Alright, this third one is the Devil's Details. What can you tell me a little bit about this one?
So this is trying to find out what Eritrakos is up to, and you're sent to a devil fortress to learn the details of Harry's nefarious plans. And if you look up...
Oh, sorry,
Yep,
wrong
yep,
area.
you already
Yep.
never mind.
They're on a delay, by the way,
Yeah,
from where I am.
I keep forgetting I'm living in the past. So you sneak into this devil fortress and try and find out what Harry is up to, which you will succeed in doing by the time you reach the end. And this dungeon brings back some of our lesser used devils. Guys who have been around but you've hardly ever seen before, namely the Abishai. You get to see all the different colors of Abishai in this dungeon.
Now, I notice for those who are familiar with the other Shavarath content, there are some similarities in architecture in that. Certainly not in color. Back in the day, it's known as a fairly purple-looking area. How about the maps themselves? Are they different?
The maps themselves, certainly.
Yeah.
These are all new dungeons. So this is a devil fortress, and hence looks similar to some other devil fortresses being built by devils. But it's not a devil fortress you've ever explored before.
Right. What I'm trying to get at, I guess, here is that this is a different adventure pack,
Right.
not just an epic version of the
Absolutely.
The stuff in Shavroth.
Yeah.
This is a new area.
Yeah, this is new dungeons that just happen to take place on the plane of Shavarath, but not otherwise related to the dungeons in the Devils of Shavarath content pack.
Pretty sure the raid has all the horned devils you can eat, right?
Yes, Horn Devils, you need to go to the raid.
Which we will be doing shortly.
Yeah, see if you can work your way upstairs.
Hey, how do we get rid of this toggle here?
Oh, it's alt tilde.
Alt tilde.
Oops, get out of the hit space first,
Yep.
and then hit enter. And then hit alt tilde.
You're seeing our secret
might be-
secret cheating.
Not working.
cheating
Control-
ways.
There we go.
There you go.
Control tilde. There we go.
Yep.
All right.
Nothing to see here.
Pay no attention to the fancy developer tool.
Yeah. Like I said, this is on the development server as well,
Yep.
so that's
Right.
part of what's going on here. All right. Now let's see. Do we get to see Militia?
You will see Militia in this dungeon. So Harry has a group of lieutenants that he's using for his nefarious plans, and we'll be seeing more of those lieutenants as time goes on. You'll see a little bit of Militia. You won't get a chance to fight her. You will, however, get a chance to fight a new monster, which is the Arenes, which is essentially a fallen angel.
Cool. Did we answer about the favor reward question yet? This one?
You're not going to get a favor reward from gatekeepers in this update, but soon. Trademark sign.
Nice. I'm just kind of going through chat to see what else we got here. Alright, sounds good. Why don't we head on out? I guess, is there anything more we should see maybe related to this?
Well, if you could get through that door and go upstairs,
Is
possibly you can just cheat through the door.
Is that the, this one? The-
No, that'll go to the... Well, we can go to the end fight.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. We will cheat and skip to the end. So we're about to go into the boss room here. And if you look down, you'll see many things.
I know that
You'll-
guy.
You'll see Harry and Militia and some other lieutenants of Harry's that we haven't met yet. And you'll also see the boss, who is the Arenes, which is Greek for fury, in case anyone was wondering.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
there she comes.
new looking armor, by the way, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's some nice work.
Yeah.
I know we've already seen on Lamania some requests to have this cosmeticized, if that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have that for 27, but it's
Yeah.
something we might look into for the future.
Yeah, we'll be seeing more Arenes in the future.
Okay, so you used the word there. What is that word, and who are they? What are they?
Arenes are devils. They're more easily referred to as furies. And they're related to fallen angels. So they're much like angels, both in appearance and in terms of what they do, but they're evil.
And yes, Casquick is in there too.
Alright, I'm going to recall out here.
Yep.
And we will take a look at the raid. Now, I do want to mention that we are going to be just a little bit spoilery here, but it shouldn't be... Well, actually, I think we might...
We're going to be pretty
Right.
spoilery.
Yeah.
Pretty
If you don't want
spoilery.
raid spoilers,
If you don't raid spoilers, cover your eyes.
avert
and
your
just,
eyes and your ears.
It is a fury, not the fury. Well, it's technically, again, by D&D lore, it's an Arenes.
Tell the Q, right?
Yes.
Yep. And there, in the background, you can see the flying city that Archons live in.
Yeah, way in the back to the right there.
Yeah, in back of the flying skiff.
All right. So, tell me a little bit about the raid.
All right.
That would be you, no words.
That would be me. That you are assaulting a devil fortress to aid the angels, Archons, who are fighting up against the devils up in the sky above. So as you're going through, you will simultaneously be trying to hold back the devils from bringing in reinforcements, as well as help Archons that are being knocked out from the fight above so they can continue their battle. There is many types of devils in this fight, and after you've accomplished all that, you'll get to go to the boss fight with another. I cannot say it as Arenaeus.
You should have been there
And
for
then
voice
fake-
recording. We had to go through that several times.
That's a very tricky word.
The main mechanic of the raid is trying to rescue Archons as they are shot down. And if you fail to rescue them in time, they are corrupted by the devils into becoming Arenaeus, who will show up in the end boss fight.
Yes.
So you want to save as many as you possibly can.
One of those things, huh?
I want to save as many while also killing as many devils.
And if you fail, there are failure conditions, right?
Yes. If too many reinforcements make it through the portals, you fail, and if too many of the Archons are left to be corrupted, you also fail the raid.
Cool. Is everyone pretty much red named in here? Or
Red
orange?
and orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a raid. Oh, and of course, there's also Shavrath blades, everyone's favorite.
New, much more powerful Shavrath blades. So do not be fooled into thinking they're the weak ones that you're used to.
There we go.
There you go.
We know how much you love the blades.
Shavrath blades. They're like the tumbleweed of the plains.
They really are
Tumbleweeds
the
were made of
tumbleweed of
barbed
Shavrath.
Yeah.
Is it?
For folks who don't know, we didn't make up Shavrath blades. They're part of the official WotC lore.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Huh. Oh, there you are.
Yes, the heroic level damage of the blades was fixed since the first Lamania.
A lot of things were fixed. since
They
the
still
first
do a lot
one.
of damage.
Yeah, so there's been so much battle on Shavrath that, the spirits of the departed have, or something, has animated all the weapons that are lying around on the battlefields. And they just kind of wander around like tumbleweeds.
So that was one of the Archons being knocked down from the skies above, and those Abishai are wanting to corrupt her, so you have to take out the Abishai so that she can rejoin the fight.
So basically what you're saying is that enemies got sentient weapons before we did.
No, they're not actually sentient. They're more like environmental hazards.
Oh, okay.
No, they're not that smart.
Okay. A little bit like the potholes you may encounter in Massachusetts. Yeah. Cool. All right, well, I don't think we're going to get a little heavy spoilery here. Let's see, before we do that, if we have any more questions. Are Hellhounds in the new Monster Manual? Do we have a Monster Manual person?
Yes,
I don't think they are, no.
Yeah, don't think so.
They're
I don't remember all
Yeah.
10 of the monsters off the top of my head, but I do not think the Hellhounds are in there yet.
Someone asked about price. We were just looking this up. I'm pretty sure it was $4.95. Yeah. So, turbine points for the adventure pack. If you're not a VIP, it's $4.95. And let's see. I saw another question. The bravery bonus toggle. They were asking about that.
That should be it.
That should be in, and indeed, when Lamania comes back up, that's one thing you guys should be trying to help us test.
Yep. Currently planned for this update.
Yep.
When is the developer iconic being released? Well, that'd be like a hoodie and a t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
It's no
Yep.
surveillance tree. You never leave.
Yeah,
Never
there you
to
go.
leave your desk. And
Let's see. We did have a question about +7 tomes. People are getting itchy for that. We have something in here, don't we? In this content, is that?
I know you can get the upgraders right now
Right.
in Temple of Elemental Evil.
We added upgrades from +6 to +7 in the
Yeah.
last update.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I will double check on that.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll have to get
not
back.
quite sure if it's the same drop list as the last couple raids we've had, or if we pulled in the stuff we added to Temple.
Sure. Titan, I know, has a question about Lamania. When are we going to get Lamania updated? Could be as soon as today, like this afternoon. We'll let you know more about that, and you can find that on the Lamania forums if you would like to. All right, I am going to get fairly spoilery here and
I would
teleport
go
to
out
the
and
end.
reset the raid because you're gonna fail.
You're
in,
gonna fail
like,
it pretty
another
soon. Yeah.
60
Oh, yeah.
seconds, which will just kick
Okay.
you out anyway.
Yeah.
So
Didn't save enough Archons, Corin.
yeah, here's a tip: don't have a lengthy conversation in the middle of this raid.
No AFK.
Alright, round 2.
Yeah. All right, so here we are at the end fight of the new raid, called, by the way, Defiler of the Just, if we haven't mentioned that.
She is the boss that used to be an Archon and was corrupted into one of the. I'm gonna go with Furies. It's an easier word.
She has a friend.
She has a fiendish purple worm as a nice friend with some new mechanics made by Steel Star.
Yeah, compared to the last time, well, there's one of the things. Compared to what you saw in Lamani before, it now has a tail. That tail pops up pretty frequently. It crits for a lot and hits for a lot of damage, but you can see it coming, so just don't get hit by the tail. You'll probably die. He also has a couple of cone and line attacks that show up on the ground before he sets them off. The beginnings of these were on the last Lamania build, but now they do a lot of acid damage and some extra effects. So the worm is a lot tougher than he was on the last Lamania build. So should be fun.
Yeah.
And the Arenes is tougher as well, I believe.
Yes, everything's tougher. every single creature in the dungeon is tougher than it was last time.
It's a little hard to wander around it. I think I would not advise going solo in a basically ungeared character.
And she now rains meteors down upon you, and you will basically die if you get hit by those. So move out of the way of the targets when those happen.
Yep. Wow, we just got bringing out the big guns.
Yep.
It's a fiendish purple worm, so it's really more red than purple. But
It's true.
Yeah, there's
All right. Well, being as I'm slowed and getting my
there's now ads as well, which were not on the first
self-handed to
Lamania.
me, I guess I better probably just call it. So there's a little glimpse. I'm seeing some interesting words in chat. The 3 attacks with a. So this a lot of damage. This
There's
is
a lot of damage.
This raid is. How would you describe the challenge of it compared to some of our recent ones?
That's a good question. I think players will give us a good answer to that when the Lamania comes up again. But it was certainly a bit easy in the last Lamania. Now there's a lot more damage output, and all the monsters can take a bit more damage as well. So it's going to be pretty challenging to survive the end fight, I think.
so in terms of length, Steel Star, how would you compare these to the Thunderhelm raids? This raid to the Thunderhelm raids.
About the same length to a little longer compared to Fire on Thunder Peak. Significantly shorter than Temple of the Deathworm, just because that was a fairly long raid.
Cool. All right, I wanted to transition over just to talk. Well, let's see first if we have any more chat questions. It should mention that people who ran it during the last Lamania preview, the raid wasn't actually really working.
Yeah, there's
so That's
Yeah.
part of what's
It's really easy to beat when the monsters aren't actually trying to get you with all their
Yeah,
attacks.
right.
Yeah, there was a lot of work between the last build and this one, so if you ran it last time, try running it again this time. It should be a significantly tougher and better experience.
Spacey Spaces asks about the Maybar replacement event that we have announced for later this year, presumably around the Maybar time frame. We are doing some work on that. It is not Maybar directly, it is a new themed event that borrows some of the assets from Maybar.
Yeah,
but
we,
we'll have more about
so-
to say probably about that
Yeah,
later.
we like to call it in a Halloween theme, Son of Maybar.
Right,
Son
so
of the Return of
Yes,
Maybar.
it's son of Return of the Ghost of Maybar. Yes.
Yes.
And to be perfectly clear, since I'm the lore guy, it still involves Maybar. It still involves the Plane of Night, but there is no more Shadow Dragon. That's the
Or the spectral.
Spectral
Yeah,
Dragon.
Spectral
Sorry.
dragon.
Yes, I get my Spectral Dragons and my Shadow Dragons confused.
Rand Ployd says, is the Trapsmith workshop still not functioning necessarily correctly on a guild airship? Yes, that is a bug we still need to address. We did fix one airship bug for update 27 here, and that is Tavern Regeneration will now say refresh your clickies and things like that on the airship. So that's one of the kind of long-standing questions we've had about a couple of airship bugs. We'll have to get to that one about the Trapsmith workshop fairly soon. Let's see. All right, let's transition over to some of the items here. Why don't we talk a little bit about loot? What kind of stuff can they get? Where can they get it?
So there are about 5-ish items per quest in each of the 3 quests this update, and about, I think the final count was 13 new items in the raid. They cover just about every item slot. I think we have at least one item in this pack in every slot, and a whole host of different types of items for different kinds of builds. What you're looking at there is a token from one of the quests, a trinket from one of the quests, Token of the Proven. Kind of an angel-themed trinket. It's got a Featherfall clicky, which I know is contentious with a few people, but it's mostly thematic because it's an angel-themed trinket and lets you fall like an angel. Just a few decent little buffs on there.
And it should be noted, minimum level 13 on the heroic levels
yes.
of the items, 28 on the epic.
Right, there are both heroic and epic versions of all the quest items. The raid is epic only, so there are only epic versions of the raid items.
All right, Halcyonia. Let's see, wisdom, devotion,
I'm-
healing lore, heal.
I'm
I'm guessing this is for healers.
Yes, that's sort of a healer themed item. I'm way behind you, so I can't see the
Yeah,
stats
exactly
necessarily,
right, it
but
is. Yeah.
yeah, it has a new appearance. Actually, all of the new helms and shields in this pack have new appearances. So that is primarily healer-based helm.
It's pretty rad. Cool. All right, the armbands of the silenced ones. Let's see, we got dexterity, dodge, seeker, reflex, empty blue.
Right. These are sort of meant for your sort of more dodge or just kind of dodgy characters in general, ones who get their defense out of not getting hit as often. Should be good for a number of builds.
Got a cloak. Like I said, we're not going to go through every item here. I just kind of wanted to...
You skipped over Height of the Fallen, though, which you
Okay.
should look at, because
Sure,
that's
sure.
one of the
Yep.
items I actually like most out of the ones we added to this pack.
Okay.
It has a new effect. It's a very druid-centric item, partially because of an effect on it that if you are in wild shape, you get a stacking bonus to damage equal to, I believe it's half the number of wilderness lore feats you have. So if you have the more sort of druid or other ranger primal type classes that you have where you would get wilderness lore feats, while you're in wild shape you get a bunch of extra damage. So for damage based combat druids, it's going to be a pretty good item.
We do have a question, one quick one about back to Maybar. Will the Cloaks of the Night be back? We haven't really determined the loot that'll be in the upcoming Maybar event. But that Cloak of Night is in the Mimic Hunt. Should that...
It is in the Mimic Hunt.
Yeah.
I don't think we can say anything about the festival coming in the fall and the loot related to that yet.
Another off-topic question from Ravenloft 13. Any plans for new Epic Destinies? Nothing new to announce on that. The answer to that is it's something we would like to do. That's been our answer to that for a little while. Right now we're really working on enhancements and things of that nature, so I think we'll see some continued work on that before we see any new Epic Destinies. Let's see. Anything new for artificers? I don't know if
wish.
he's talking about new artificer trees. I know you've got a destiny you'd like to do, right?
I've got several trees and destinies and all kinds of artificer things in the back of my mind. It's just finding the right time and place for them.
Yeah. All right. I think that's most of the questions I see there right now. Pendant of Quiet Movements, a nice 11% dodge bonus. This lesser displacement, that's something pretty new. Isn't it?
It's been around for a while. We've started putting it on a few more items because there was some demand for it. It's a pretty decent bonus, especially for characters that don't ordinarily have access to displacement easily.
And just to be clear, displacement does stack with blur.
Yes.
For those who don't know, the band Immaterial, that's a pretty cool looking or sounding item.
Yeah, this is a DC caster ring with illusion, enchantment? Yes,
Yeah,
enchantment. Illusion and enchantment bonuses, and I think some of the highest you can get in the game on that ring on the epic end, and pretty decent compared to a lot of other heroic items on the heroic end. So if you cast those kinds of spells, it should be a solid item.
All right, Eloquence is another head item. Let me put that
I love
on.
this one. This is
nice.
probably my other favorite out of this pack. First off, it's got a new appearance, which is this hood, which you may have seen in some promos in the past. I think it was in the Three Barrel Cove cover key art, and a lot of people ask, where is this hood? And so we finally got it in here. This one also has a new effect that I really like, which reduces the cooldown of your social skills. So that's your bluff, diplomacy, and intimidate. So if you use those skills at all, you'll be able to use them a little more often by using this hat, which in the right hands is really, really useful.
Cool. Another head item, Sightless. I'm equipping this stuff so that people can see it.
So this is the helm from the raid, and I love the art for this, personally. It's, I think, a fairly strong helm and should be competitive with a lot of what's out there. I think it has the highest base enhancement bonus to Constitution in the game these days. So
Yeah, 12.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Yep.
that one.
So I'm pretty excited for it.
Let's see, we have a new trinket there. Gauntlets of the Arcane Soldier, that's...
Pair of spellcaster gloves from the raid. Resonation's another good one for spellcasters, sort of similar to the Lantern Ring. It has a damage proc that goes off when you cast harmful spells, and it does stack with the Lantern Ring. It didn't in one of the Lamania builds, but now it does.
Clearly the stuff that is only in the raid doesn't have heroic level versions.
Right, and is bound to character.
Yeah.
That's the other way to tell it. And I think they should have orange icon borders.
Yep.
I think we got that
I have
fixed.
a new quarterstaff. Let me equip that thing, see how it looks. Oh, I guess...
You gotta turn off your Eldritch Blasts, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
This is probably also a good place to do a small reminder, because I know some people have been coming back for Warlock who might not have been around recently, but if you like the looks of the helms and the armors and the weapons that you're seeing, don't forget that there is an item that will let you keep that look. So if you get a Mirror of Glamoring, you can get those in daily dice. You can also get them in the DDO store. What that'll allow you to do is turn any of the loot that you like into a cosmetic. So that way, if you're getting these helms and you really like them, you want to take them down to your next, reincarnation life, you can use the mirror, take the helm with you, use it as much as you want.
Yeah. I see a question up there from Titan about the Superior Force Burst on the new Great Axe. Yes, that's been fixed. It should be in the new Lamania build.
Ooh, I like this crossbow's
Yeah,
festive.
that's brand new art on the crossbow too. So
Cool.
Yes,
Riftmaker is a new
Archon
great
themed
axe.
crossbow.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a nice looking great axe too. Look at that thing. And similar to what we did with the last update, I'm actually going to be working on getting sort of a page up to talk a little bit about what these items look like and put them on DDO.com. So you can expect that, maybe not day and date of release, but pretty soon afterwards, if not. All right, we have a new shield. This is the large shield. There we go. Get the helmet off. We also have a new small shield, Shield of the Demonic Soldier.
some more new art right there.
Yeah. Cool. Just quick stats on that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a shield and a buckler in this update that have more or less the same stats. We sort of went back and forth, I think, with the Players' Council about whether it should be a small shield or a buckler, and we just eventually decided it should be both.
The answer is yes.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
there are versions of both. They are more or less the same, but one is a small shield and one's a buckler.
Here's a new tower shield. Holy
Yeah,
moly.
I love this one too. It's huge.
Yeah. Dude. Sorry, I'm this is my first time seeing this new shield and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
Oh yeah, you know it's funny. We actually have concept art of that shield that's been here for a little bit. It's actually over with the finance team.
Oh, yeah.
Devin's team.
Yeah, so it's concept that's been around for a while, and actually parts of the asset have been around for a while too,
Yeah.
but we finally got it into the game, so I'm very, very happy about that.
Piece of DDO trivia. We started thinking about doing Archons in 2009,
Yeah.
and we finally finished them up this year.
6 years.
Yeah.
Nice. I can't equip the rune arm to show you what it looks like as I'm not an
Oh,
officer.
that's unfortunate. It's the rune arm is also new art, and I think it's the first completely new rune arm art we've gotten since Mo2. So,
Unfortunately, it's going to take a little bit of time for me to
That's
do
okay.
that,
Log in
so.
an artifact.
well, like you said, when you get the
item and-
when you get the items on DDO.com, you should you'll have a picture of the rune
yeah,
arm.
it'll be.
I like it.
All right, so we are actually getting pretty close to wrapping things up here, but I wanted to set aside some time to answer any of the questions that you guys might have. This can be about Update 27, future plans, or really any DDO question you have. We want to take a little bit of time to just kind of talk to you a little bit about that. So, what you got? Let's see what we can answer for you here.
Somebody earlier was asking if we'd made any headway on gnomes, and
Literally heads.
well, I was about to say we have
Gnomes.
nothing to say about dates, but I can say we've been looking at gnome heads.
Ooh. There you go. All right. Does the difficulty of the raid allow it to be played on Wayfinder? As someone who just played on Wayfinder yesterday and saw an elf look for a raid that was doing pretty good, I'm going to say yes. Now, I guess what really this question though is that is the raid how solo friendly quote is the raid? Small group friendly.
Less so than it was before the last Lamania. I'm sure a really good small group can probably find their way through it. Our players are pretty good when it comes to figuring out how to get through things with less people than we expect, so I'm sure they'll figure it out.
A Mistwalker67 asks, are the Remnant Cloaks and Bracers coming back soon? The answer to that is yes.
Yes.
I saw that in the our internal calendar here pretty soon. Actually, quite soon. So
Yeah, they're relatively soon. We do want to keep some of those more rare prizes coming back on a frequent schedule for you, so if you missed them the first time, you'll get your chance to come after them the second time. The brand new items that we're adding, the new MRR and PRR tomes, those we're planning on putting on the Remnant vendor all the time. So that way those of you who are getting the Monster Manual and collecting your remnants from the quests will be able to access those tomes pretty frequently. But the Cloaks and the Bracers, some of those things we're liking to keep a little bit more exclusive, so you'll see those continue to be limited burst releases.
yeah. All right. Let's see. Another question. I guess this has been asked a couple of times when we talked a little bit about it. What kind of changes are coming to Enlightened Spirit here?
Okay, so toward the end of Warlock development, there was on Lamania. This was before Update 26 launched. We'd gotten a lot of feedback that overall Warlocks were not dealing enough damage to where they should be. One of the things we did after the last Lamania, but before it went live, was add spell power scaling, extra spell power scaling to almost every Warlock damage dealing ability. And that brought the spell power scaling for Spirit Blast and Eldritch Burst from 100 to 150. Since then, we've been keeping an eye on how those abilities have been working, and at least for Enlightened Spirit, we came to the decision that those two abilities were dealing too much, especially relative to the other Warlock abilities, and so we decided to scale that back from 150 to 120. As for the other change in there, the temporary hit point ability, I'm forgetting the name of it offhand, just the trends that we've noticed in the gameplay that from the data that we're getting are that's just giving too many temporary hit points overall. So we scaled that back as well. It had very little to do with demand from players or anything like that, and more with just the observations of how players were playing, as well as honestly just giving it more playtime once it hit the live servers.
So, ultimately we're just talking about a bit of a scale back in the bonus of the spell power.
We want them, those 3 abilities that are changing, to still be very useful, and we think with these changes they still will be. They are overall relatively small in terms of the actual impact of before and after, but it should bring it closer in balance to where they should be.
Next Lamania build, we answered that earlier, but just to say again, it could be as soon as this afternoon. We'll let you know. You can find out about that on the DDO forums. This weekend's bonus is a 15% Guild Renown bonus. Bacardi Specialist has what sounds like a bit of a suggestion. Since there is a need for DR breaking, do we have any plans to add an extra slot on the Update 27 crossbow to add devotion or another augment?
I don't think we have plans for that, but I will take a look at the crossbow and see what the status of how and where it can break DR is, and see if it needs a change.
Does anyone know Ravenloft 13's question? I don't personally. Whether if you make a Warlock rogue, does sneak attack stack with the Eldritch Blast?
No, sneak attack dice do not apply to Eldritch Blast because sneak attack dice apply to weapon attacks, and Eldritch Blast is a spell.
Right.
So the same way you wouldn't get sneak attack dice with, say, Burning Hands or Lightning Bolt.
Okay. Erlock wants to know a little bit about whether we plan to look at the guild management system. We have no plans immediately to do that right now. We did, the airships were really the last big guild work that we've done, and I don't know that we have plans to say bring back additional tiers of what's the right word I'm thinking of?
Administration.
Administration. There you go. It was something that years and years ago, there was an effort to do that, and it didn't work out. But we have no plans to bring that back that I know of.
Someone was asking where they can pick up the quests, and the quests are located in Amrath and Shavarath. What's different with this update is you can now travel to Amrath not just from the Tower of the 12, but also from the Eberron Hall of Heroes. If you go to the Temple of Elemental Evil entrance where the gatekeepers are, there is Planescaller who will teleport you to Amrath from there.
All right. Hall of Heroes. Let's see, a couple more questions here, and then we'll probably call it a stream. Let's see what you guys got. The new monster manual will be in the new build of Lamani, I believe.
Yeah, it should have been in the last one too.
Should have been
should be
last.
there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in
If it's not there, we can go
I don't know if it's in the DDO store on Lamani.
Right.
I know if you're a VIP, it should show up automatically.
Exactly.
Yep. More spell slots for Paladin. I don't know of any plans to do
No
that.
plans for that, as far as I know.
Yeah.
More augments, yes in the future, but not for U27, no.
Any plans for epic spell levels? That's something that I think we've largely implemented through Epic Destinies with spell-like abilities.
Right, and some of the epic feats that give you things like Ruin. Possibly in the future. No plans with anything we can talk about right now.
Sure. Any information on the new level cap is still planned for this year. Later this year, we'll have more information about that as we get a little bit closer to it. I don't want to say anything more than that because it's a little flexible in terms of things are in flux, right? But it's still planned for this year. So,
Yes.
So that's absolutely the current plan for that. Otherwise, I will say, in case you don't know, we're going up to 30. So.
Yes,
Yes.
That is known.
Yeah, that is known.
Epic Veil, huh?
Oh, yeah.
When is Epic Veil? That will also be later this year. Though, again, it's similar to what we have going on with this adventure pack. We're not seeing a epic version of the Veil quests. We are working on an epic version of the Shroud.
So, yeah.
But we'll be a completely new adventure pack of
You
it.
Right.
don't want Epic Coalescence Favor? What?
As great
I'm
as that would
shocked.
be.
We're saving
yeah.
that for anniversary.
Yeah.
So, yes, brand new quests set in the Veil, similar to what we did for this update, where it's new quests set in Shavarath. But the raid for that pack will be an epified version of the Shroud. Mostly similar to the existing Shroud, but a lot deadlier.
Yeah. Let's see. We haven't really talked about Epic Green Steel or whether we bring any changes. I don't think we have any plans to do changes to Heroic Green Steel.
No, as far as I know, no plans to change Heroic Green Steel.
Yeah.
Or Heroic Shroud, for that matter.
Yep. When will we get sentient weapons? We'll talk more about sentient weapons as we get closer to their release as well.
Yeah, we started to work on them, and we weren't really happy with where the design was going, so we're going back to the whiteboard, see if we can come up with something that we feel fits a little better with DDO and with the way the players enjoy the game currently.
We have a request for a teleport NPC to the Vale.
In the Vale, okay.
We'll have to take that under advisement.
Right. We can, yeah, certainly think about it.
What is the server upgrade planned? We don't have anything new to announce in regard to that as well. Our plans are still, relating to the new data center, the same as they were with the latest producers letter. So you can read about that over there if you want.
Yeah, the new store, because I know there was a little bit of confusion when we did some changes to the DDO store. The new DDO store is going to be a little later this summer. You'll know it when you see it. It will visually look different. You'll access it the same way you always access it, but we're working on changing the UI, making it a little bit more clean, a little easier to use. So you'll be seeing that happening a little later in the summer.
All right. Let's see. Erlach asks again, any plans to sort of return to the Forgotten Realms?
We will. We've just decided to spend some time with the Devils and Eberron for a while.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, for a while we were doing sort of a series of Forgotten Realm packs, and everyone was like, "You've abandoned Eberron," and now we're doing a series of Eberron quests, and everyone's like, "You've forgotten the Forgotten Realms." No, I mean,
forget the Forgotten Realms.
we're trying to tell more stories in different places, but because sort of the nature, especially right now where we're telling a storyline over several updates, we'll get back to the Forgotten Realms, but we're going to finish this story first.
Someone's concerned about my facial hair. I guess I could shave. Why, are you trying to tell me something? Let's see. I think, since we're asking about my facial hair, we're probably just about done. Oh, spell components bags. I know we talked about that recently on the forums. There are still some technical issues related to using spell components from a bag, and that's been the big hang-up regarding spell component bags. But it's something that we have certainly heard from the community for several years that they would like to see, and it's something that if we can one day do, I'm sure that it would be something we'd be looking more into. All right, I think that's going to do it. Thank you very much for joining us during our Update 27 Trials of the Archons preview here on twitch.tv/DDOstream. As usual, this will be going up on youtube.com/DungeonsandDragons, one long word, no ampersand, a little bit later today as well, and you can also find the archive on Twitch. If you are on twitch.tv/DDOstream, please hit that notification or follow button if you'd like to be notified for when we're going live, and you can also see our complete roster of shows on twitch.tv/DDOstream as well. All right, thanks very much for watching, everyone, and we will be back again soon.